Hello YouTubers. As some of you know, I am in love with traditional archery, but I haven't been shooting a bow for probably 10-12 years. I've been having problems with my shoulders. Well, I went through some therapy last month, I guess, was when I ended, and I got my shoulder where I could draw this bow. This is a Damon Howitt 30-pound bow. Not much weight, but I can draw it back. And I've been practicing every night, just pulling it when I get home from work, pulling it about 10 times or so. I bought this bow years ago for my oldest son, and I'm ready to kind of step up a little bit in weight. I thought this bow was a little bit heavier, but this is a 33-pound bow. It's a White Wing Archery Company. It's an oldie. Has a string on it, and I strung it up the other day, and the string's too short. This is the one that was on when I got it, but I've never shot it or anything. Got it at a garage sale. So I was going to start pulling this one, but the brace height was about a foot. Your brace height, when you got the bow strung, I go like that, and I want about 7 inches. So it'd be just a hair, the string should be just a bit of hair higher than what my thumb is. And it was about a foot. This one here, it's got a Flemish twist string on it that I made years ago. And you can see it's stretched some. It should be a little higher than that, but that's okay. I haven't been shooting it, I've just been pulling it. So all I have to do is unstring it, give it a few twists, shorten the string up, and my brace height will get higher where it needs to be. But I just thought I'd do a little video on how to make a Flemish twist bowstring for this other bow, and then I'll just start pulling that one. When it starts warming up, I want to be able to shoot a bow again, and I want to work my way up to a hunting weight bow, which I have a recurve that's 55 pounds and a long bow that's 60 pounds. So let me get set up and get my bowstring out, and I'll show you how to do it. See if I can remember. Okay, here's all my bowstring, different types of bowstring. I got 2 different colors of brown, yellow, blue, black, red, green, white. These are for the serving, different colors for serving. That's the which you put where your knock point goes on the string to kind of give the string a little more strength right there. And I got bowstring wax. This is a little bit softer stuff. I don't know what it's made of, but it's bowstring wax. And this is a beeswax bowstring wax. It's a little harder. Let me take this off the tripod. Right here's the jig I've got for making my bowstrings. See if I can remember how to do this. Let me get set up. Okay, what I've decided to do to make it easier for you to see what I'm doing, I'm going to use 2 different colors of string, and then I'll use a different color of serving. Now, I've tied my white string here on this first nail, and the bow says it is a 66-inch bow. I'm going to make my string, you're supposed to go 2 inches shorter, so I'm going to go, or 4 inches shorter, so I'm going to go 62. So I come down here, go around the nail that says 62 for 62 inches, and I come back here and go around this first nail. the way I do this is it'll cut the ends of the strings off so that when I twist it all together it'll be tapered. So the next one, I come back one set of nails, and I go around the same one down here, and I try to keep the same tension, and I want to go around 8 times. And then when I make 2 of these, that'll give me 16 strands for my string, and that's how many I want for the bow. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be 5. Six. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8. Wrap that around there to keep some tension on it. I learned a long time ago, when you cut these off, put your fingers here, because I've cut them off, then they spring back and make a big bird's nest knot, and it's impossible to get it untangled. So put your hand there so it can't spring back. Put your knife in the middle and cut it off. I gotta cut that one because it's tied there. And before anything can get all messed up, get in here and smooth both sides down. This bowstring is already waxed. See, I've got a little loop right there, and those are hard to get straightened out because it's all waxed and it all sticks together so bad. There. Now I'm going to wax it some more. Just take your bowstring wax and get it waxed up real good. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with that brown. Looks like I need to make a new one of these bowstring jigs because those nails are kind of rusty. And it got some rust on this white string. All I'm doing is just kind of pulling my hand over it, and I can feel it heating it up and melting that wax in a little bit. And if you look at the end, you'll see how the end they're cut off in a taper because I came along here. That way when you twist your string together, all the ends won't be at the same spot and just kind of cause a blunt, squared off spot on the finished string. Let me shut this off. I'll make my other one, then I'll show you where we go from there. There's both my strings all evened up down here at the end. A brown and a white. I'm going to come back 10 inches, which is over here where you can't see. I got it marked out here. 10 inches. Pinch it off. This is where we start the twisting process. And the way you twist it is you twist away from you. If you're looking at it like this, you're twisting clockwise, and then you come over the top. Pinch it, twist it clockwise again, and you come over the top. And you just keep doing that. There's 8 strands in each one of these, so when my string is done, it'll be a 16 strand string. You just keep doing this. And what we're doing is we're making the loop that goes over the knock on the bow. And we're going to make the top knock first. The top knock is always a little bigger. See, there's where that's not quite big enough. It has to be big enough that when you unstring the bow, you don't take the string off the bow, you just let it slide down the limb of the bow. So we want that top knock big enough that it will slide down the bow. I think I want it just a little bigger than that. You can see, since I'm using 2 different colors of string, how it's twisting. You're basically just making a piece of string, a thicker string. Kind of hard to do. Try to keep it in the camera and see what I'm doing. And I think that ought to be enough. And then you bring it back like this. Normally you would put the white string with the white string and the brown string with the brown string, but I'm going to switch it up just so it's easier to see what's going on. And I'm going to put the white string with the brown string and twist it. You just twist them together and come over the top. Twist them together, come over the top. See, now you're forming a loop. I'm going to put some wax on there. Kind of looks like white chocolate and dark chocolate all mixed together. By the twisting and then going in the opposite direction, it kind of, when this twist tries to unwrap itself, it's just wrapping itself tighter in the whole string system, I guess you'd call it. I had forgotten how to do this. I had to cheat and go to YouTube and look it up. So this is the first string I've made in probably at least 15 years. But I made a bunch of them years ago. And you can see I'm now at the end of the tail. Right there's the last little tag end. And you can see how there's ends there and they just kind of taper out. Well, I'm going to go a little farther into my string. You have to keep running your hand down here because it's twisting up in the opposite direction, tangling up down there on the other end.
try that to make sure it's big enough to slide down the limb. If it's not, I'll just make that the bottom one. Let me shut this off, I gotta go get something. Okay, here's the top limb of that bow, and you can see our new string slides down there plenty far. It'll still go on down. So the other end will want to make a smaller loop. Let me get this put down and we'll start that. I put a clothespin on this end to keep it from trying to unravel while we're doing the other end. You got to make sure you pull them good and tight and even the whole length. I'm going to hook it on the top of my vise here and pull it tight. You don't want to get them one shorter than the other because you'll end up with a loop in the middle. Okay, there I've got them both pulled tight. I'm going to come to my measuring, come down here 8 inches this time, and start doing it all over again. I'm going to finish this, and then I'll come back to you. You don't want to see me do the same thing again. Okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is the bottom end, and the end hooked to the vise down there is the top. This in here will just barely fit over the limb onto the knock of the bow so that it won't fall off all the time. I've twisted the string like this until it's 62 inches long, and I've pulled it snug. The original one was 59. 62 is probably going to be a little bit long, but all I got to do is twist it some more to shorten it. Now, what I do, if I can get this set down, is I take this little piece of leather, where you at? This little piece of leather, and I'll put it on the string, wrap it around the string, and just run it up and down the string, and that heats that string up, heats the wax up, and it seats the string kind of into more of a tight string instead of being twisted. It's just seating it into itself better, and it'll kind of lengthen the string. So I'll have to check the length again. I'm going to put some more wax on it. I was thinking if I would have used red and white, it'd look like a candy cane. There. Some of the black on this leather came off onto that string, so the string isn't quite as white. Let's see how long it is now. It got about an inch longer, so I'm going to twist it some more. Shorten it up about an inch. Okay, back to 62. Let me get my bow stringer. Okay. We're going to put the top on and just slide it down the bow. We're going to hook the bottom in and put it on the knock.
And my stringer, it goes on there like that. Hopefully it's long enough. Yeah. This end just goes over the top of the limb and put it down here below the string. Then I step on my stringer, pull up, that's pretty darn close on the first try. Yep. That's probably the first time that thing's been drawn back in God knows how long. Okay, the next step is going to be putting the serving on. I'll have to put a few more twists in that. That needs to be about a 1/4 inch over the top of my thumb to be 7 inches. But we're going to go ahead and put the serving on. Let me get ready to do that.